Welcome to Fallawsophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw-Doering, and it is February 27th, 2024. Thanks for joining me today. It is Tuesday. Now, we're going to have a quick show today. I've been rushing around this morning. Didn't have a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of things. I did get a little bit of gentle, just a little conversation with Archangel Gabriel outside of meditation. And I want to thank Sue Rose for continuing to type those up for me. She is wonderful. All righty here. All right, rushing around today. I had quite a few thoughts over coffee, but broken thoughts over coffee. So I don't know if I'm going to be talking about that. I might just take questions. So wait till I ask you to put your questions up for the blind lady so that I don't have to scroll back through and find them all. Also, Uncle Ron on Fallawsophy Chat. Everybody knows Uncle Ron. And if you don't, you should. Donated 12 free healings to give away. And on Fallawsophy on Telegram yesterday, I asked for submissions to win, and we have winners to announce today. I will post the winners, a list of the winners, your screen names, or whatever name I could get from your comment on that post today on Telegram. So if you're not with me on Telegram, it's Fallawsophy on Telegram. You guys want to be over there, join my channel, follow my channel, and then join the chat from there. So now, wasn't in meditation. Again, had all kinds of situations, all kinds of fires to put out here this morning. So I just asked, what's going on with the RV? Because I have no idea. I've been completely self-involved and immersed in my work, and I have no idea. And what he said is, there is a world summit going on, and it's to relax the restrictions on trade. And I said, is this a bad guy summit, or is this a good guy summit? He said, Alliance Summit. There is a world summit going on to relax the restrictions on trade, and it's Alliance Summit. More news on progress will come out tomorrow, so that would be Wednesday. They need a decision to carefully proceed with the RV and or the transition to asset-backed money. So something's going on with that. But he said the Western Front is ready. And after that, I said, well, who's the Western Front? I believe he said the United States. And the last thing he said was Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm over here in my own little world. I really have no idea. But we'll see how that turns out. There's some kind of meeting going on, finalizing how we're going to proceed, what it's going to look like. There's some kind of decision that needs to be made. Somehow Saudi Arabia is mixed up in the whole thing, and more news will come out tomorrow. Other than that, still happening. It's still happening. Yeah, I did start about 10 minutes later today because I was looking at my time, and look at the hair, I didn't curl it. All right, just washed it. Rushing around. So now I don't have Mike Barra's watch. Whoever said that. Usually on time. I really don't like to be late, but necessary. Really? Saudi Arabia is supposedly helping Iraq to join BRICS and well, that makes sense. Okay, feeling better. That makes sense. Good. Scott also is saying that. Okay. Interesting. And Scott said that that is huge. So that is good. Yay for the Gentile. Right on. What else we got? Oh, I did that. World Trade Organization meeting going on. I did not know that. I've been off in my own little world. So whatever I get, you know what? I always tell people. Now, if I get something that I didn't know about, of course you always have to believe me. But you can. I'm an open book. If I get something wrong, I'll just tell it, yep, totally screwed that up. I have no problem with being wrong. Psychics, prophets, whatever you want to call me. Prophet is more accurate. You got to get used to that. You got to get thick skin. I didn't really know that, or haven't been really paying attention since like Thursday. Okay. If I get something that I didn't know anything about, and you guys are all confirming it, let it strengthen your faith. That's the only reason I can get anything, is because a long time ago, I was put in a lot of situations that forced me to strengthen my faith. And I've been riding on faith for a long time. Trust me. Let it strengthen your faith anytime I get something right, because that's where it's coming from. All right. Okay. All right. Chris Iverson. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh my God. Shut up. Expecting news tomorrow. That is more meaningful than you know, from Chris Iverson today. Yeah, let's hope it's like notifications. That would be cool. Let's just do that. Let's just forget about all the news and all that other stuff. Just send out the notifications and we'll be good. That's what we need. The Lions are the good guys. Iraq joining BRICS and WTO is huge, means that they're asset backed. And what did he say? When I got this information, I'm like, well, I could have totally made all that up. Hopefully it makes sense and I don't look like an idiot. But there is a world summit going on to relax the restrictions on trade. Alliance Summit. More news on the progress will come out tomorrow. They need a decision to carefully proceed with the RV and or the transition to asset-backed money. Western Front is ready. So I'd say Western part, what we know as the Western countries, ready. I don't know where it is. I don't know where that summit is. What's going on here? What do we got here? Yep, visualize it, pray it in, see it, say it, be it. Easiest way to remember manifestation. See it, say it, be it. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit today. See it, say it, be it. And what is manifestation? Creating your reality. Are we creating our reality right now? Yeah. Yeah. That's why the programming is so important. Because you're the creators and they must get you to create or destroy whatever they want. The dark side. War between good and evil never ended. Ongoing. And we just happen to reside on the battlefront dimension. In the battlefront dimension. All right. What else you got, Scott? They said it would go east to west. We are the west. Okay. I'm a suck at creating my reality because I've been trying this for years. Well, it's time to step up with that. Because we have to eliminate the doubt behind that creation. And like, well, how do we do that? And it's like everything that you are and you experience, and yeah, other people around you too, but we made choices to have those other people around us. We made choices how to react to those people. We made choices about what those people do that really bothers us or not. Everything's a choice in every moment of every day. And if you're thinking, this is going to happen, but instantly in the background, what if it's not? That's what we have to get rid of. And that's hard. And I'm learning right along with you. I'm trying right along with you. Yeah, let's just do that. Nasara Jasara would be good. It does. Long time ago, before I was on Facebook, so a long time ago, I put out something that says, if you want, it just so I was inspired one day, and I said, if you want to be loved, be loving. Be lovable. You know, if you want to be rich, first start with recognizing the abundance that you already have, however big or however small that is. You know, if you want more, do more. Because thoughts lead to actions, don't they? You want more, do more. Well, I can't remember the whole thing. So it was, if you want to be loved, be loving. If you want peace, be peaceful. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Not like I know everything, just thoughts that we don't even realize. Let's say we have a chaotic home environment. Okay, our home is supposed to be our sanctuary. We got to go out. We got to work. Whether you're working from home, and that's kind of hard to manage, you know, because you never leave work, especially if you have your own business. Never stops. So you try to be both things, and that's a struggle. But my mom used to say when I was growing up, well, let's just leave it in the car. And I come home and I'm like, oh my God, this and that, and this person at work, and then, you know, this happened today, and I hit a curb, and, you know, and I stepped out of the car, and my ankle gave out, and I fell down, my purse went all over the street, or whatever. You come home, and you're in a bad mood. You've been in a bad mood all day. And she'd say, well, what's going on? What's wrong? Young adult still living at home. I remember this. And I said, well, and I go on and on and on about all the reasons I have to be mad and miserable and frustrated for the rest of the evening. And she'd say, well, the day's over now. And you got all that out of the way. You're home now. And you can relax. And this is your time to be happy. She goes, so just take all that, put it in the car. If you want to pick it up when you get back in the car tomorrow, that's fine. And I always thought, oh, okay, Mom, well, thanks for caring. You know, you just don't want me to bother you with my attitude today. But that's not what it was. That's wisdom. And along the way, I call it the famous one-liners of people in my life, even strangers sometimes. You know, you'd be going on and on in your mind about something, and they'd come out with this, you know, one sentence make you think for the rest of your life. like my papa, my mother's dad. Interesting individual. Very strong. Very loving, though. He'd do things along the way that just kind of make you go, what? Like when a cat was born and all the organs were on the outside of the body. We had kittens. We had kittens all the time, kittens, puppies growing up. Kind of a rural part of San Diego where everybody had 3 to 5 acres. So he's like, comes over and he's like, well, let's give it some whiskey. And I'm like, well, yeah, that'll solve everything. I'm just a kid. I'm like, okay. So he gives the little dropper this something dropper. He gives his little cat some whiskey. Okay, newborn kitten. Then he proceeded to take his pocket knife, didn't clean it or anything. I'm horrified. And there's this film holding all the guts on the outside of the body. Just cuts it, just shoves them back in, and starts stitching it up. Put some betadine on there, which looked like blood. It was a horrific experience. And then I was like, that cat lived. We gave it to the neighbor. I mean, it lived to be like 18. And I was thinking, I'd look back on that stuff and I'm like, how did he know how to do that? He was a real estate broker. I mean, and he looked at me one day. There's a couple times. He was the famous one-liner, and I think that's where Mom got it. I remember we had a family gathering, and I was like, I don't know. I can't remember if I was 19 or 20, something like that. And I was living with my boyfriend, very Catholic family. And he was, and he was the one where everybody get up and leave if he sat down around the pool or whatever, because he'd start talking, start telling you stories. And I was the one that sat down because I wanted to hear the stories. I was just fascinated by it. And he told me one day, when we were going in, it was time to have the meal, going inside. And he stopped me at the door and he says, I just want to make sure that you haven't lost your faith. I mean, it was like one of those moments where you just stop. And I said, don't worry, Papa. I will never lose my faith. And I was surprised by my answer. It was like in that moment, I knew that this was an important moment. I knew that, I kind of popped out of my, young, crazy girl life and I knew I never would. And it was weird. And it was, the other time when my mom was told the story, my mom told me where she was going on and on about all the ways that she thought that she was deficient in life. Well, I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not, or I've got too much weight on me, or I'm not successful enough, and he just looked at her and said, compared to what and according to who? That one-liner for the rest of my life popped up, and it's probably the one reason that made me so open-minded. And a lot of you have had that situations too. So, come full circle back to what we were talking about. When you go home, is it your sanctuary? Well, and some people say, well, I'm trying, and it should be, but everybody is so annoying, and everybody is so this, and everybody is so that. Okay. Or my house isn't as, I don't have as much as others, and it's not as good, and things are broken and old and everything else. And it's like, well, and my family maybe isn't the best family. Well, compared to whose family and compared to whose home and according to who? Compared to what? What do you have right now? What opportunities do you have in your own home to be the one who does something to make the situation more peaceful, more calm, more happy? When was the last time you actually did something just to make someone else happy? And I'm not trying to. These are the thoughts that we need to have that lead us back to the place where we start to decide, well, maybe I need to rethink things. Maybe I am blessed, and maybe I am rich, and maybe I am loved. Maybe I am worthy. Maybe I am guided. Um, and if we look back over history, what did people do when times got tough? They gathered together. They did, and we are encouraged through our programming to split apart. So maybe we just forget everything we've ever thought, never did, never said, and all the things, even if you're the jerk in the family who everybody walks around on eggshells because of your opinions and your attitudes and you have no self-control. Maybe we can just drop all that and say, well, today, maybe I'll be the one who contributes to our sanctuary. Maybe I'll help my wife or my husband, whoever's in charge, does most of it. Maybe I'll just do things without being asked. Think about that. Or if you're a teenager, well, maybe I'll ask my mom if there's something she'd like me to do. Oh, that's a big one. Oh my God, I don't know if I could really do that. That's a hard one for them. But it's all this me, 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 me. It messes people up. Why don't we start thinking them, them, them? And then maybe if everybody thought them, 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 wouldn't have to think so much about me, me, me. Because everybody would be a little bit happier, wouldn't they? There's always somebody who's the dark cloud in the room. There's always somebody who is completely self-absorbed. And so self-absorbed in negative thought. That's where it begins. Negative thought. Well, I don't like this, and I don't like that. I don't like my job, and I don't feel good, and I don't this and that, and I'm just going to come home and create chaos within the family, and everybody else is happy, and I'm going to sit down at the kitchen table, and I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to be that energy that nobody can get away from. That is a choice. All of it is a choice. Even when you look at your kids and it's like, well, they really haven't accomplished much, and what's going to happen with their whole life and blah, 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 blah. They're not, 20, 21, 19, whatever. And I just really not seeing a whole lot from them. And, I feel this. Shut up. Nobody knows what they want to do with their life at that age. They'll figure it out. Maybe just stop. Maybe if everybody just stopped and sat down at the table and just took a look around and saw that everyone's still there. Oh, I could sit back personally and complain. I should have put the thoughts over coffee up here. Let's just do that. A little late. I could sit back and complain and say, oh my God, my, early 20-something kids are still living at home. And she brought the boyfriend and the dog back when she couldn't afford the rent. And now we got all this stuff, and it's, dog and dog hair and bills and debt and attitudes and all this stuff. Will there ever be a time again when we all live under the same roof without husbands and children on theirs? No. And I had that thought, and I was thinking, why don't I just enjoy that? But where's the frustration come from? Other people being too self-centered, not thinking about the rest of them. There's always somebody in the house, like the mom, and it doesn't have to be the mom. Don't get all feminist on me and stuff. But some things never change in a household. People need to know what's expected of them. So if you're getting married, you should sit down, or if the family say, this is what is expected of you. Make a list, put it on the fridge, so people, if you don't say it and say what you want, people don't know what they, if they know what's expected of them, they don't have to really ask very much. I tell my husband, listen, stay out of my kitchen. This is a list of the things I don't want to do. I don't want to do the dog crap, and I don't want to do the trash. Okay, you go ahead and do the yard. I'll come out there and help you with it and stuff, but go to work, come home, and I'll feed you. Basic, pretty basic, and within those guidelines, he knows what he's supposed to do. But we always have a choice. We have a choice at work. We have a choice at school. We have a choice in every new day. The moment you wake up, you have a thought about what your day is going to be like. What do you think? People say, oh, we woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That's because the minute you open your eyes, you have a thought about how you feel, what's coming, what the day is going to be like. Somehow that's some kind of like natural instinct. You just like tune into the energy of the day. Okay. It's not just me. Everybody does this. What if we woke up and said, wow, I get another day. I get another day to be here. What am I going to do with it? How am I going to spend it? Oh, I got to go to work and deal with all those people and do all this stuff. Well, what if you didn't have a job and you really wanted one? What if you didn't have another day and really wanted one? It's the people who have lost people who wish they had one more day that understand that, and we forget. Dark side really counts on us forgetting. And we do. As a society, they know it. Oh, we'll just let this pass. They'll forget about it. Women, why do women usually have kids like 2 years apart? Because it takes about that much time for them to forget the trauma of the entire situation. Okay? If they come out and they got a brand new baby, they're like, I'm never doing that again. That was okay. I can handle this, but I'm never doing that again. And then a couple of years later, they're like, well, I can do that again. I can do that again. The programming, society, the negativity, they bombard us with it because they want us to stay at a place where we are creating our own chaos and not our own peace. Waking up means nothing if we don't go to that place, if we don't begin within our own home. I see people suffer endlessly because of debt. I got all these bills, this invisible umbrella hanging over my head. I can't do anything. I can't be happy. I can't, because I've got all this debt. Really? Well, is it some little monster following you around the house, poking you in the ass? No. It's like an invisible umbrella. It's numbers on a screen. Just take care of it, little by little. Someday it'll be gone. But it doesn't have to affect every moment of your life. We need to snap out of it. Because I spoke to somebody, I spoke to somebody yesterday who is a psychologist, clinical psychologist. She said that there is a serious problem. Especially with men just losing it right now. And a lot of times, there's chemical imbalances. There's things going on with people. Yes. But a lot of times I think it's life and the way we view it and the decisions that we make and our perception of our current reality that puts so much importance on labels and income level and everything, that it becomes who we are. If you just strip away everything and you're standing out in the middle of the desert naked, who are you now? Are you a loser? Have you failed? Well, isn't that the way you came in? And how beautiful and pure and good and worthy and great were you when you were the naked infant. You were precious, weren't you? Adored and precious. When you go home, the only thing that really matters is who you were, the memories in people's heads that you left behind, the loving connections that you had. I mean, did you laugh? Did you make them laugh? Did you care? When they came to you and they said, yeah, when everything was falling apart for them, did you turn against them? Did you become part of the problem? Or were you the one that said, you know what? This happens in life. Leave it in the car. Because here, you're precious. No matter what you got, no matter what you've done, no matter where you go and what labels you wear, you're a precious individual to me. And we need to start thinking more as a soul. And when you strip away all the labels and all that society has told us and dictated what is okay and not okay, and beautiful or not, or worthy or not, you're left with a soul. And that soul is beautiful. And it is good and kind. It is our reaction to stimulus that affects everyone around us. So maybe just stop for a second before we react. Maybe think before you speak, of course. We learned how to do that. But someone walking around the house complaining about everything, is that just as damaging as somebody who sits in the corner of the room in a dark cloud staring at everyone? You can still feel it, can't you? It has to be our thoughts that change. Choose your own perception. And what I have seen lately is that everyone is waiting. Everybody's waiting for these changes so that they can live, so that they can be happy, so that they can be at peace. If I only had this and I only had that and I didn't have this umbrella of debt and I didn't have everything would be okay. Can it be okay now? Could that be what it's supposed to be, a someday frosting on the cake? It's supposed to be. So, I'm not, it always sounds like I'm coming down on somebody, but I'm coming to these conclusions for myself as well. Could we be at peace amidst the chaos like Jesus said? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Aren't we supposed to listen? Yeah. And you can be. And we can start today. When you go home today, or the next opportunity you have to interact, could you be complimenting people? Could you compliment them without saying, oh, wow? Could you just say, you're looking good? Instead of saying, well, it looks like you lost weight because you're fat. Because the person goes, oh, well, clearly they noticed I was fat before, and now I'm okay because I lost weight. So I'm getting better because I'm starting to look more like society says I should look. You see? See the mind game that's been going on for a very long time? Who decides? Who decides? Right now, we're in an election year. Is this a normal election year from what you've observed? The fighting, the campaigning, the trying to get there, the scraping their way to the top. It's not. It's very quiet. I mean, there's things going on, but strange. That's very telling. There is more evidence to support what we believe to be happening than not. It is happening. We are like right there. That is true. But my whole part in the whole thing is to basically keep people going through it. I don't know how I got here, but this is it. But it's after. The things I'm learning and the things that I have learned, I will teach for the people after. Even the children's series that I beat myself up year after year after year that I have not finished. The Wishflower Field, Marie's Triumph. Who's Marie? I didn't really know when I wrote that. That's my middle name. Marie's Triumph. I didn't even realize that that's for the kids of tomorrow. And I get, oh my God, I haven't written a book. I'm such a loser. I'm so sorry. You got and everything. It's not time yet. Like, why did I start so long ago? Practice. Had to believe you could do it. So I got one out. Publisher screwed me, and then she died. I'm like, what's that all about? I mean, we do these things in our life, and it doesn't make any sense until it comes full circle. But you guys have been on a spiritual journey, whether you realize it or not. And it's time. It's time to one up. It's time to take the advanced course. And we don't want to look at ourselves, and I don't want to look at myself, and that's really hard. And no, I want to act on every emotion. And it's their fault that they made me mad, and it's their fault that they ran up the credit cards, or they did something wrong, or they didn't do their chores, or they said something mean to me at work. Just like I said before, a few shows ago, you imagine some shadow figure. It's like the story with the little devil and the angel on your shoulder. You imagine some shadow figure standing off to the right, throwing you a ball, like a big red bouncy ball. And you keep catching it. And people say, well, it's not my free will for these things to happen in my life, and it's not my free will for this and this and that. Really? Did you catch the ball? Because God and Jesus and everybody you're praying and asking for stuff for, bring peace into my family, bring this into my family. But they watch you catch that ball, and you take that opportunity to entertain those negative thoughts in your mind, and one leads to another, and now you're playing ball with the enemy. We do not engage with the enemy. Let that ball drop and watch the peace in your household build. There's always got to be someone to lead by example. There has to be someone to start. And that's you. And as we take a look at the new world we talk about, and the patriots and the truthers and the ones who know, you carry the burden of knowing, but you are the wise ones. And we must act as such. And we must start with ourselves to be the peacemaker. You're all going to go off on humanitarian projects. You got to be this. We got to be this now. So, just stop all the, oh my God, what if this doesn't happen? Everything's going to fall apart. I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to, what if I just going to have to trudge along like a regular person? First of all, it's happening, all right? Whether it's, on your timetable or God's, that's how life goes. Anytime now, basically, it's happening. It's actually happening right now, but we're just waiting to be told that it's happening. we can't. And then once it happens, I hear some people say, as soon as everything comes out, I'm going to throw it in people's faces and I'm going to say, look at what you did to me and you turned against me and you didn't believe what I said and I told you so. Well, then you haven't learned anything. You have not learned anything. And the only reason you want to do a humanitarian project is for the money, isn't it? That's not what it should be about. You got to start in your own mind. We got to stop playing ball with the enemy. We got to stop believing the lies they throw at us during election years, that they put all over social media. And they'll have some guy who's the, quote, expert. I'll tell you, there's no experts at anything. They might be knowledgeable. They might have experience. Anybody comes to me and says, I'm an expert, has a lot to learn. These experts will come out and they'll tell you, yeah, it's not happening. Yeah, this is wrong and that's wrong. And then, your vibration just goes, now you're in a hole. Now I'm depressed. And then you catch the ball from whoever that guy's bad guys were. And now we're playing ball. Okay, now I believe in him because he says he's an expert. Well, I know psychic people go out there and say, internationally known. Why? Because you're on Facebook? Not internationally known. You're just trying to sell things. Drop the labels. Walk into your house today new. How much time do we have? How much time do I have? Let me see. You gotta look at the schedule. Full day. Oh, I do have some time. Okay. So the way that we do this, long time ago, and people have heard this before, I've done a philosophy show on it. There's a full philosophy show on it. If you want to scroll back, find it on Jennifer Fallaw-Doering on YouTube. This very channel. It's called 3 Steps to Center by Archangel Uriel. So at one time, it was way before all of this. It's before I was in all this political stuff. I didn't really think about that stuff. I was thinking about my life, and I was thinking about, I just felt like foggy, like overwhelmed, like I can't make a decision. What I'm supposed to, how do I proceed? I just can't seem to make a decision. And this was given to me in meditation. It's called 3 Steps to Centered. He said, you have to get centered, and then you can make a solid decision. I'm like, what does that mean? Centered in what? That's what he meant, what I'm telling you right now. So you got to clean out all the garbage in your mind. Everything that gets in the way of true guidance that is always flowing to you. I don't care who you are. And the way we do that, step number 1. We want to recognize we're taught to not like physical things, to not be materialistic. But it's exactly why we go to work every day and get these labels and try to make more money and do all these things so that we can have things that surround us that make us feel comfortable. Like a roof and everything in the house and the clothes you wear and the food in the cabinets and everything else. And we get so used to those things being there, we don't realize how abundant we truly are. So we're going to go back to a place in step 1 where we're naked in the middle of the desert with nothing. And sit there for a second in your mind. What is it that you need? What is it that you would want? How uncomfortable are you? How thirsty are you? Then, be in your home. Be in your life, in your world. Take a look at what you've accumulated. And this was kind of funny. Step one. I usually only need step one and I'm good. But Archangel Uriel, step one is to recognize the material blessings in your life, because we are all housed within the body of God, and everything that you have accumulated came from Him, whether you realize it or not. There is nothing outside. So, step one, recognize the material blessings in your life. Step two, so we got material. So, physical, material blessings in your life. Step two are the emotional blessings in your life, the relationships, however big and small and terrible and good. We're going to take a look at each and every one of them, because even someone who was the catalyst, who in heaven said, you're like, okay, I'm planning a life here. I need somebody to come around and be a total jerk to me, okay? I need you to come here, break my heart, teach me a lesson, okay? Who wants to do that? And some jerk you've known for eternities in the back of the room says, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll totally be that guy. I'm going to do that. That's going to be funny. Then you all get home and remember, oh, that's right. You're really not a villain. Because of you, I went on and was very good to someone else. I learned. I became who I was. I want you to take a look at each and every relationship and just maybe look at it in a different way. How is this and how has this been a blessing in my life? Okay. And those step two really helps people who feel like they're alone. Okay. Step one helps people who feel like they're lacking. Step three is all the spiritual blessings in your life. All the times you've been saved, all the times you've been guided, all the times that you've been healed, all the times, and we don't realize these because we get so used to it happening all the time, we just blur over it. I think God's up there, maybe. He's been helping you every moment, every day. Even if you didn't ask for it. All the times you felt like you were surrounded with the angels, all the strangers who came and said just the right thing at the right time. All the times you got through that terrible night. I know people growing up, people would say, God, I can't believe you're still alive, man. You have been brushed death, had a brush with death so many times. We knew people like that growing up. Like, that dude's still alive? Yep, he's got angels. He's got angels. So, 3 steps to center. And so this is the part that's difficult. I said, well, how long do we spend on each step? And Archangel Uriel said 3 days. I'm like, so 9 days for the whole process? Yes. And I said, why? Because it takes 3 days to establish a regimen. Really? Oh, yeah, I guess it does. Well, you're on a diet for 3 days and you got a good handle on it. So the first 3 days always sucks. First 3 days, anything always sucks. It's hard. But you're trying to, the point of the entire exercise is to get back grounded again, get back centered in your positive reality and not the negative one that is just false. Get back to the truth. And it's a journey in gratitude. So every time, and it's just a journey in thought. As you go about your day, business, whatever. We're going to stay centered in gratitude. What happens through that 9-day process? I usually just use Try the 9 days. I've never made it 9 days, but try it. It's um, what happens along the way is that we retrain our minds to look for the blessings, to look for the positive. We're denying every negative thought comes in our mind and we're replacing with positive thought. And when we see something that we're grateful for or that adds to our life in any way, we say, thank you, God. You're staying centered in a high vibrational energy. And what happens? You get happier. I mean, like joyous sometimes. Your body heals. Why is it so hard to heal? Why do we not have to eat or sleep in heaven? Because heaven is a collection of high vibrational dimensions or subdimensions. I really haven't figured that out yet, but let's just say dimensions, where we are closer to the source. Just like a fire, the further away you stand back from the fire, the less warm it is, right? Well, we're closer to that fire. We are plenty warm. We are not cold in heaven. We are bathed in God's light of creation and love and have no need to pull anything else into us to supplement the loss of that. Why does the dark side want your vibration low? Because our thoughts are blocking more of that high vibrational energy to come into your body, to feed you, to nourish you. You that comes from that place, that's what you're made of. And over time, we deteriorate. Why do demons look terrible? Because they're deteriorating. They dwell so far from the source, they have to pull energy from you. It all starts to make sense now, doesn't it? And when you stay centered in positive thought and happiness and choose joy and choose seeing the beauty in things and do the things that Jesus told us to do. Why did he tell us to do that? So that you'll feel better and have a better experience. So, after this 9-day process, you get back to a place where you're not bombarded by the negative, by the doubt. And you're like, I can see clearly now. I can make a solid decision. So let's start today, shall we? Let's start with 3 steps to centered, and we want to take a look at everything physical in our life, 3 days, that adds to our life. And when I first started doing it, it was kind of funny. I started out with the big things. Oh, thank you, God. I got a roof over my head. It's raining outside. This is nice. I don't have to get wet. This thought's as simple as that. I started with the big things. Oh, I have a bed to sleep in. Thank you. I'm very comfortable. But it's more than that. We really want to pick it apart. We really want to pick it apart as we walk around. And, we compare ourselves. Oh, I've got this 5 to 10-year-old car, and it's not that pretty anymore. Was it pretty when you got it? Yeah, you loved the thing. Now you don't, because you're used to it. And you compare it to the guy who pulled up next to you who's got a brand new car, a brand new truck. And now you don't like your car. But has your car been carrying you around for all those years? Is it dependable? Is it comfortable? Is it working? Can you get in it without thinking and get to work and back? Yeah. You're thankful you have a car. Thank you, God, for this vehicle. But it's more than that. You walk around like, I remember I went into the bathroom. I was putting something away, and I opened one of the drawers. And as a woman, and you think about yourself standing out in the middle of the desert, naked, with nothing, what would I need? And I looked around, and I'm like, what would I need? And I started looking around in the bathroom, in the drawers and the cabinets and everything. Like, well, I can get clean there, and I can do my business there, and I got wash my hands here and my teeth, and I'm like, and I started looking through all the stuff in the drawers that I'd forgotten about. And I'm like, I have so much stuff that I don't even need. I have an abundance of things that I could use to make myself comfortable or pretty or whatever. Thank you, God. And it was stupid because I was in the bathroom for like half an hour. I was looking at all this stuff. And this is what we have to do. We have to retrain our thoughts so that we can be ready and we can be the wise ones and we can be that force to be reckoned with as we move in to the new world. There are always people that go first, and that is this community. So let's start now. All right. Oh, sorry. Let's see what we got. All right. Throw me a few questions before we get going. Anybody need to have something they need to know? Go ahead and put those up there now. I'm going to announce the winners. The winners of the free readings, not readings, no, free healings from Ron Davidoff. Thank you, Ron. First, we got one for Layla to help you with your quit smoking thing. And we have, it just said Mary. Mary Catherine Phillips. Capital S, capital B was the screen name. SB, you want a free healing. It's either Despira or Despina Pecunis. If I butchered that, I'm sorry. You won. Diego's Mama, you won. Now, this one is just a capital T with little sparkles next to it. That's your screen name on Telegram. You won a free healing. Tara 53, Tara 53. You won a free healing. Kelly Daniels. Screen name, The Rose. Your screen name is The Rose. You won a free healing. Sassy's Mom. Thought I was Sassy's mom. And Canine Creations. I will post this list on my Fallawsophy channel on Telegram sometime today, hopefully as soon as I get off here, if I don't forget. And I need all of you people to email me. Let's see if I have a banner for the email address. Absolutely not. I do not have. I don't have that. And I cannot scroll. Technical difficulties. jmfallaw@gmail.com. You need to email me the name and the picture of the person and say, I am a winner. This for the free healing. You can go to jenniferfallaw.com. I do think I have a banner for that I saw. Here we go. What happened? Okay. If I suddenly disappear, my streaming service is freaking out. All right. So my email's all over the website. So you can just go to the website. I do need a picture of the individual and a full name, first and last, please. And if it's a pet, I need the pet's name and your name, because that's how I get the connection to the pet. And that'll do it. And I'll put you on the healing list. Let me get over to the comments, get a few questions in before we go. The light. I'm thankful to have a ring light for this broadcast, and I'm not going to complain that it's like malfunctioning right now, and I'm so bright because I moved. I'm thankful to have one. Thank you, God. That's not a question. Okay, Sandy's son, Alec, is interviewing for a job Thursday. Yes. Yeah. I also heard it's not a long job. Just take it. There'll be something ready when he's done with that one. Cleaning house. Another thing to add to your happiness. Create your sanctuary. If you walk in the house and you've got stuff everywhere and everything is in disarray, how can you feel at peace? When you've got a reminder that everything is a mess around you. My life is a mess. Now, I don't know if it's a mom or a female thing. You know, some people just don't even care. I do. But I've seen this with the teenagers, you know. And okay, now listen. If you got teenagers, I got a few pointers. I don't know if it's right, but this is what I did. They'd go so long because everybody said stop cleaning their room. They have to do it. I'm like, they don't do it right. And I'm like, okay, clean your room. So then it would get into this terrible mess like nothing I've ever seen in my entire life. That's ridiculous. And then I'd finally go in there, and time after time after time, I would tell them to clean the room. And then I'm the bad guy because after the 20th time, I said, all right, give me your phones, give me your car keys, give me whatever it is. You can't have anything until it's done. And then, you know, and before that, I would observe that they're depressed. You know, and I'm like, well, is their room a mess because they're depressed? Or are they depressed because they're sitting in the middle of a disaster? And so I'm like, well, either way, we don't want vermin in the house, so let's clean the room. So everybody hated me, and then they would finally, and it'd probably take them like a couple days, but then they get their room absolutely beautiful, and then all of a sudden, they're inviting me into the room. Look how nice it is in here, and they're smiling. And then they've got plans about what they want to do with the room and what they want to change and everything. And I, you know, I'd be like, oh, now you want presents and things, you know, do you finally? I'm like, sure, yeah, we can change curtains, because I'm all like, yes, you are a happy person now. You're thinking about other things. You're not sitting on the bed on your phone just crying about whatever. You got to make your. I said, okay, let's make your sanctuary. Let's do it, and we did. And yes, they're still messy, but I've observed them over time, them coming to me saying, well, I just completely reorganized and moved everything around. And it's like a new day. And I cleaned my room and I did this. Well, I do that with the house too. I get tired of the way things look. And I'm like, all right. Everything I need to fix the sanctuary. Okay. Because that's what home is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place of peace. And how can you be at peace if you live in the middle of chaos? Clean it up. Get rid of it. There's too much clutter. Get rid of it. Or organize it in something else, in some other way, in like a storage or whatever. If you can't let go of it yet, don't worry about that right now. Just get your space beautiful and comfortable. Well, I don't have any money to do that. I don't care. I've had most of my years no money to do that. There's always a way to do that. It can be clean. It can be organized. You know, you got, you know, for the longest time when I was a young adult, we know TV trays were tables. Okay. And cinder blocks and boards, entertainment center. I'm telling you, throw a cute little blanket or something over it. Now you got color. Throw pillows, new curtains. Makes a big difference. All right. I heard Mike say on the Real News Live show months back that he heard you can't have enough Boulevard. Any thoughts, Jen? Well, that could move to an obsessive place. I mean, the Boulevards was a cheap thing to get. And you could end up having like 1,000 of them, you know. That just depends. I don't. That would be your decision on what's enough, what's not enough. I'm sure if somebody walked in there with like 3,000 1,000,000 Boulevard bills, they'll probably get a different rate than somebody who had like 50 of them. Maybe the 50 guy. And some people are saying that the rate, if you had more, would be higher, but that doesn't make sense to me. Makes sense that you would, if it was higher, they'd have to cut the rate back because it's too much money to pay out. So I don't really know. I am excited to see what happens with that. I originally got for 1,000,000 Boulevard. Psychically, I got this. Nobody can attack me. That 1,000,000 Boulevard would be $375,000. You know, even if it was $37,000, how much you buy it for? Still good. Saying. Just saying. Horse is having breathing problems. It's not getting any better. He has an infection. That horse needs antibiotics. You need to get to the vet. I'm not telling you, don't mess around with the naturals. Just get the shot. Yep, time to clean the house. The spring's coming. It's time to clean everything out. All the clutter. 27 cents. Oh, yeah. Yeah, approximately. I can't even see the screen this far away until I put it up here, so I don't know what I'm clicking on. Okay, how far should I have to travel for a redemption appointment? 26 miles. If that makes any sense. Could have been 2 to 6 miles. Thought it was 26. I already did that. Let's go back here. I know. I know. It just seems like we never catch up, right? Because we're working. That's how I feel. I'm like, I should really get a maid. But I'm the kind of person, I'll clean the house before the maid gets there. Because I'm like, well, I don't want her to see that. Well, that's because it makes me look bad, right? Like, I don't really want her to see things and, the dust on that thing in the corner that I haven't touched in forever in the office, that's pretty bad. I mean, okay, don't go in the office, all right? And then I just forget it. I'll just do it myself. Let's take the whole weekend. I'll just do it myself. So I've never had a maid. Never had anybody come in. Yes, please hit the like button. I forget to ask for that. I assume if you're sitting there and you like it, you'd hit it. It's just good manners, really. And that's something that people don't really have anymore. You guys do. But so many people, they just don't have any manners. I mean, social graces. Especially on social media, they come out and just say whatever the hell comes into their mind without thinking. How old are you? You got no social graces? Got no tact? Got no class? You really have to start pushing that again. Have a little class, my God. Okay, Marigold, Arizona in March. Tail end, yes. Yes. Susan. I know, it's just, you know what? If I could pay somebody, it would be a laundry person. And I would pay that person well. I'm like, you are the coveted laundry person. I will give you a room in my house if you will just do laundry all day long. Anytime something gets dirty, wash it. But no, I don't want anybody touching my underwear. Unless it's like a mom and, you don't care. I wouldn't want a guy to touch my underwear. Okay, so Kitty Kiwi is scratching. Been a few months. How can I help? I just saw white powder. I don't know if there's something in the kitty litter that you use, or even possibly baking soda is irritating this cat's skin. Take a look at that. Maybe you could switch over to something that doesn't have so much dust on it. There's some white powder that bothers the cat. It looks like it's drying out the skin or something. Gary, are you the one that emailed me every day? You need to check your email. No, I'm not behind. Really, I've only probably about a couple days. I have yesterday and today's emails to do. If you did not email me, if you purchased a reading, you must, because I have been targeted by GoDaddy payments. I cannot schedule on my website anymore. Coming up for renewal, we'll see what happens then. But everybody has to email me after purchase, and we schedule it together privately through email. Okay, and I did just go through a whole massive amount of scheduling and emails and healing emails and everything. I've just got yesterday's and today's to do. So no, I'm not behind. Some people are sending the emails to the Jen Fallaw at frontier.com. I can't get into that email anymore. The email that's on the website that tells you to go to, that's the one you go to. It's on every purchase. It's on the top of the page. It's all over the place. You can't miss it. It tells you what to do. Yes, I know. Yes, I know that you emailed me, and I believe I responded to you. If not, do it again. Oops, crap. I have a reading in 3 minutes. Okay, guys, love you. Gotta go. Have a good day. Stay positive. Try the 3 steps to centered. I'd like to hear about it. I will post the winners on Telegram. Talk to you tomorrow on Real News Live on Rumble. All right, have a great day.